In this video, we are going to see how to write interview questions for different job profiles automatically with the help of OpenAI, which is an artificial intelligence and deployment company that helps you in creating content just like humans do. So let's say that every time you add a job profile title in your spreadsheet, here we have taken the example of a Google Sheet, then with the help of OpenAI, you have created the interview questions. You have generated these interview questions, then you have created a document which is in the name of the job title, and then you have appended this content in that document, and finally you have updated the Google Sheet with the link of the document that you have created. Now, how can you do this? For this, you will have to set up some integration between these applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here, your trigger application would be Google Sheet. Then your action applications would be OpenAI, Google Document and Google Sheet. Now, how can you automate this entire process and actually do this yourself? To understand that, let me take you to my screen. In this video, I'm going to tell you every time my spreadsheet is updated with a job title, let's say it is a product manager, then automatically a document would be created under the same name, and then with the help of OpenAI, interview questions would be generated, and then finally the link of that document will be embedded in the same sheet. So this is how the link would be embedded in my spreadsheet. So now to understand how we can do this, let's begin. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. Now on the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in as I'm an existing user here. And here we have reached the all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. And here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, you can see a tab create workflow. So let's click on this, and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. So what is my objective here? My objective here is to generate interview questions with the help of artificial intelligence. So let's say that I'm looking for certain interview questions for the post of business analyst. Then as soon as I write this particular job title in my Google Sheet, then automatically interview questions will be generated with the help of this OpenAI application, and then those interview questions will become a part of my Google Documents, and a link would be saved in the Google Sheet. So now I'm going to click on create. As I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger this, when this happens, and action is do this. Basically, action here is the response of our trigger application. Now, what would be my trigger application here? Google Sheets. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. And now the trigger event. So this is the event that will make my workflow run. So I'm going to select new or updated spreadsheet row, which means that this workflow is going to trigger when a new spreadsheet row is added or updated. Now here you can see that we have received a webhook URL. This is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect with Google Sheets so that Pabbly Connect can have access to the information given here. So now I'm going to copy this, and then we have to follow the following steps to set up the integration. So now I'm going to take you to the Google Sheet that I have created. So the name is interview questions. This is the name of the spreadsheet. The sheet name is sheet 1. And here I have got two column fields, job title and interview questions. So let's say the job title is business analyst. So as soon as I have written this, automatically interview questions should be updated here in the form of a link, a Google document link. This is my objective. Now to set up this connection, first we have to go to extensions, then we are going to go to add-ons and get add-ons. So once we have reached here, this is the Google Workspace Marketplace. Here we are going to look for Pabbly Connect webhooks. And here you can see that this has already been installed on my system. Now make sure that once this is installed, you have to close this window and refresh the page. This is an absolutely important step please make sure that you refresh the page, and once you have done that, then we are again supposed to go back to extensions, and here you would be able to see Pabbly Connect webhooks. Now here we are going to go to initial setup, and here you can see that it has already selected the sheet. Now here we have to paste the webhook URL. So I'm going to take you to Pabbly Connect, and here I'm going to copy this URL once again and paste this over here. Now comes the trigger column. So this is the final data column on which the data is added. Now here in our sheet, the final data column where the data is added is A. So I'm going to write A, and let's click on send test. Here you can see that the test data has been sent successfully. Now I'm going to click on submit, and yes, it is saying that the configuration has been set up. So now I'm going to close this, and once again I'm going to go back to extensions, go to Pabbly Connect webhooks, and this time I'm going to mark the send on event as checked. Why? Because every time your workflow runs, it would be able to send the response only when this has been checked. So this is an extremely crucial step, and now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to see if we have received the API response. And yes, here it is. The name of the spreadsheet is interview questions, then this is the ID, sheet name, then this is the row index, and the job title, which is business analyst. Now my objective is that with this title, I should be able to generate interview questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my next application as OpenAI. This is an extremely interesting artificial intelligence and deployment company which can help you in generating human-like content. So here I'm going to select my action event as generate content. Now I'm going to click on connect. To set up this connection, I'm going to click on add new connection, and now here it is written that OpenAI uses API keys for authentication. Kindly visit your OpenAI API keys page to get API key which you need to enter here. So first I'm going to log into my OpenAI account. So this is the OpenAI website, and now I'm going to go to API. So we are going to log in here. So this is the dashboard of the application where we can see certain tutorials, examples, and then more information. Here we are directly going to go to playground, and as per the name, it is an extremely interesting space. Now before I throw some light on the different features it has, I'm going to show you the miracle. So when I say write a story on a flower. So as soon as I write a story on a flower, and I click on submit. So here you can see that it has automatically started generating content which is a story on a flower, and the story is extremely interesting. So once upon a time there was a little flower that lived in a beautiful garden. So this has a beautiful start as well, which basically means that this is definitely going to make our life a lot easier than it already is. And now I'm going to show you the different features it has. So we have got different modes here. We have got complete, then we have insert and edit. Then we have the model. So the most capable model in the GPT-3 series is Text the Vinci 003, which is what we use. It can perform any task the other GPT-3 models can, and it can process up to 4,000 tokens per request. One token is 4 characters, so it can perform a lot many characters. The next one here is temperature. So temperature means it controls randomness. So as the temperature approaches 0, so the model will become repetitive, and if it approaches 1, it is going to become random. The next one is maximum length. Maximum length means the maximum number of tokens to generate. So if there is a request, so it can use up to 2048 to 4000 tokens, and the exact limit it varies by model. So if you have to write a reply to a YouTube comment, you can select up to 25 tokens or 30 tokens, and if you have to write an essay, so you can select up to 800 tokens or 450 tokens accordingly. Now the stop sequence. So this is extremely important. Why? Because this is the sequence that will make your API stop generating further tokens. So the moment you put the stop sequence, it will stop generating. Then we have top P. Frequency penalty. Now frequency penalty decreases the model's likelihood to repeat the same lines, and presence penalty, what does it do? It increases the model's likelihood to talk about new topics. Basically it increases the feature of randomness. The next thing is best of. So here you can select a number from 1 to 10. Let's say if you have written 3, so it is going to produce 3 outcomes, and out of 3 it is going to put forward the best one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a stop sequence. Let's say it is double backslash and hashtag. This is the stop sequence that I'm going to select. You can select your own stop sequence. Now one more thing that we need to understand is prompt. Now this is prompt. What is prompt actually? It is the instruction that we give. So write a story on a flower. This is the instruction that we have given. So this is the prompt. So now I am going to go back to Pabbly Connect. So now I'm going to click on this hyperlink. We have already logged into our OpenAI account, and here I'm going to click on create new secret key, and here you can see that we have generated a key. I'm going to copy this, go back to Pabbly Connect and paste this over here. Now let's click on save. So here we can see that Pabbly Connect is now connected with OpenAI, and now we have to fill in this information. Basically, we have to map the information here. So first of all, select the AI model. So as we had discussed, I'm going to select this model, text the Vinci 003. Now the prompt. So what is the prompt here going to be? Write interview questions for the job title. And now I'm going to map this job title. How do I map this? So it is going to show me the previous step. I'll click on this, and as I come down, so this is the job title and I'm going to select this. So this is the job title. And why am I not writing this manually? Because if I had written this manually, then every time my workflow runs, even if there was a different job title, it would have taken the same and it would have never inculcated the new data. So in that case, our workflow would have been redundant. So now I have written the prompt. Now the maximum number of tokens is 256. This is what we had selected. Now the sampling type. So here I'm going to select temperature sampling. We have got two options, temperature sampling and nucleus sampling. But since I need random data every time, so I'm selecting temperature sampling here. Now the sampling value. So if you do not decide the value, then it is going to take the default value as 0.7, which means random data, which is what I want. Again, the presence penalty. So if we do not select it, so it will take it as 0 and it has to be between -2 to 2. So I'm going to leave it blank, and I'm going to leave frequency penalty blank as well. Now the stop sequence. So what was the stop sequence that we had selected? It was double backslash and hashtag. This was our stop sequence. And best of, so we had selected 3. And now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So as soon as we have done that, here we have received the API response. Now let's look at the response that we have received. So these are the various questions that we have received for the business analyst profile. Now, isn't that fantabulous? This is definitely awesome. Now, what is my objective? My objective is to create a Google document in which these questions can be placed. So now I'm going to choose my action step as Google Documents. This is it. And now the action event. So action event would be first to create a blank document. First I'm going to create one and then I'm going to append the values. Let's click on connect. Here I'm going to select add new connection as Pabbly Connect wants to connect itself with the Google Docs account. Let's sign in with Google. I'm going to select the account and now I'm going to provide it the authorization by clicking on continue. So as I do that, here you can see that the authorization has been successful. Now as I take you down, here we have to provide the document name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide the name of the document with the name of the job title. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to map this information. How? I'm going to go to step 1 and this is going to be the name of my document, business analyst. Let's click on save and send test request. So as soon as we have done that, I'm going to take you to my Google Documents and here I'm going to check if a document has been created. And here you can see with the name Business Analyst, a document has been created. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect. And now what do I want? I want the information that we have just received through API to be a part of this document. So let's add another action step. This time again, my application is going to be Google Document. So let's click on this. And now the action event here would be append a paragraph to a document. So let's click on this and click on connect. So here I'm going to go ahead with the existing connection. And now as I come down, so here we can see that the name of the document has already been captured by the system, but here I'm going to toggle this mapping button towards the right and I'm going to delete this, and here I'm going to map the document ID. How do I do that? For that I'm going to go to step 3, and as I take you down, so let me take you down here, and this is the document ID. Yes. Now the text to be inserted, so I'm going to write job title, and then I'm going to map the title first. So I'm going to go to step 1, this is the job title, and now let's insert the data. So I'm going to go to step 2, and this is the data. So once we have done, let's click on save and send test request. So as we do that, here we have received the API response, we have received the document ID, which basically means that now this information should have become a part of my document. So let me take you there, and yes, here you can see that all the questions are now here as a part of the document. Taking you back to Pabbly Connect. So now what is my final objective? My final objective is that the link of this particular document should become a part of this Google Sheet here. And if I show you the document here, you can see that right now it is only shared with me. Basically, this is a private document. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect. Here I'm going to add another action step, and this time the application would be Google Drive. So let's look for this Google Drive. Here it is. Now what would be the action event? Here the action event would be to share a file with anyone. So here it shares a file with anyone on the internet. So I'm going to click on this and click on connect. So as I do that, here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with a Google Drive account. I'm going to click on add new connection, sign in with Google, and here I have to choose an account. So once chosen, here it is asking for additional access to my Google account. This is absolutely secure. I'm going to click on continue. And here you can see that the authorization has been successful, which means that Pabbly Connect is now connected with Google Drive. Now here we have to map the file's ID. So first I'm going to toggle this towards the right, then I'm going to delete this, and here I'm going to go to step 4, and this is the document ID. So once we have done this, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here we have received the response. So as I take you down, here I'm looking for the link, the web link which can be updated in my Google Sheet. So as I take you down, this is the link. This is the web view link, and this is what I'm going to update in my Google Sheet. So now I'm going to take you down, and here I'm going to add the final action step, which is Google Sheets. This is the application. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be, this time I have to update the cell value. Let's click on this and click on connect. So here again we have to connect it with Google Sheet account. So I'm going to go ahead with the existing connection. Let's click on save. And as I take you down here, so here we have to fill in this information. So we have to select the spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on this. And what is the name of our spreadsheet? Interview questions. Then it has got only one sheet, so it has already been captured by the system. Now comes the range. How do we have to write the range? So enter the range of the sheet that needs to be updated. Example, column 5. So we have to enter the column name and the row index. So what is the column name here? This is B column. So I'm going to write B, and then I'm going to map the row index. So I'm going to go to step 1, and this is the row index. Now the value. So what is the value that I wish to add here? So for this, I'm going to go to step 5 and then the link. So this is the value that I wish to insert. I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here we have received the API response. Let's quickly check our Google Sheet. And yes, here you can see that the link is now a part of my Google Sheet, which basically means that this integration process is a complete success. Now, I also need to check this in real time. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write another job title. Let's say it is Product Manager. So as soon as I write this, what should happen? Automatically, the entire process should happen. And finally, the link of the document should come here in my Google Sheet. So let's wait for this. And yes, here you can see that we have received the link, which basically means that our entire integration process is a complete success. And now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So this is again a very interesting workflow where our trigger application is Google Sheets and the event was new or updated spreadsheet row. Then our action application was OpenAI where we had generated content. Our third action application was Google Docs where we had created a blank document, and then again we had chosen Google Docs where we had appended a paragraph to a document. Then our fifth action step was Google Drive where the event was to share a file with anyone, and the final action application was Google Sheets where the event was to update cell value. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the description box. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. If there is any particular integration that you wish to work on, you can always write to us.
Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.